Hello. So I just wanted to share with you a little bit of a story about what's going on in my life at the moment, because you might just resonate with what's going on. So I'm going to show you. It looks really pretty behind me at the moment, doesn't it? Yeah. And I'm going to just do this. Oh, what's going on? So yeah, you might have caught in one or two of my stories recently that I've mentioned France quite a bit. Yeah. So the story is we're moving to France. I know. It's just, I'm saying the words to people. Yeah, in about 6 weeks I'll be gone. I'll be in France. And it just hasn't sunk in. So what the hell? I mean, a little bit about my backstory is that I bought my first house at the age of 24. Okay. It's a beautiful 2-story flat. And I absolutely loved it. And then over the course of the next sort of 20 odd years, apart from a couple of attempts living with 1 or 2 boyfriends, didn't work out so well. Clearly wasn't my destiny to do that for a while. And I lived on my own for 20 plus years. That takes some doing in a lot of ways. And when you think about the finances, that takes quite a bit of discipline. And sometimes I didn't have much discipline. Sometimes I just like to buy cushions and lots of them and stuff for my home and nice clothes and things. And so my story really is all around. The reason why I'm here now talking about budgeting and talking about planning is because over the years I've messed up royally, and I have also done a really good job of managing my money as well. So, on balance, it's all worked out pretty well. But, I want to sort of instill in you a real confidence that it's totally doable to do this stuff on your own. So if you're finding that you're heading into a journey at some stage in your life where you're going at it alone and you're terrified and you're scared, it is scary, it is terrifying, but it's also incredibly liberating. And I remember that feeling to this day of sitting with a Marks and Spencer's can of gin and tonic to celebrate buying my first house and my second house. I did it here as well in the garden. I sat and had a little gin and tonic to myself saying, yay, cheers to me. And it's these milestones, I think, in life where... Oh, sorry. That was my dog. I've got you balanced on a table and my dog has decided to come and join me. Look, here he is. Oh my goodness. Are you soppy? Are you soppy? You're so soppy. You are. I know, you want to tickle tummy. Okay, well, I'll try and do that at the same time, but I don't think I'll do a very good job. Anyway, so I bought this house almost 8 years ago to the day. And I bought it having just sold my beautiful little, very small farmhouse cottage that I had in the country as well. So this is still rural, but it's a new build in a very, very tiny little development, still fairly rural. Tractors going past and stuff in the lane, which I absolutely love. Justin and I have been together 10 years. So we'd been together a couple of years by the time I bought this house, but we just weren't in that place. In fact, we weren't in that place for 7 years. We were very committed to each other and always have been, but just didn't necessarily want to go down that path. He's a little older than me, 10 years older than me, and kind of been there, done that, and didn't want to necessarily move in that direction straight away. Totally respected that. So anyway, fast forward to the pandemic, and like it did for everybody, it just sort of changed our thinking in lots of ways. And we kind of said, well, what are we doing then? Been together 7 years now. Should we think about living together? So we came back from holiday, and the world had gone into lockdown. It was just totally bizarre. So anyway, he moved in with me, and we've been here in this house together for 3 years. Several months ago now, you may have seen him if you've been following me for a while, we got engaged. Put a ring on it. I know, it's exciting. And we also, a couple of years ago, decided that we would buy a house in France. So I know I'm skipping over a lot of the details here, but suffice to say that it's one of those things in life that we both, having not been together and also then being together, decided that it would be really wonderful that someday we would have a house in France and live that idyllic lifestyle. And then we thought, well, what are we waiting for? And that was a massive turning point for both of us. What are we waiting for? Fortunately, we were able to secure a house and it had everything we wanted. And apart from Paul, still a bit sad about that, but never mind. And it was ridiculously cheap. So we're going tomorrow just for a week, just to do some tidying up and shed loads of gardening like you have to. I suspect the weeds will be up by my waist again, and the usual sort of maintenance, and just to enjoy the place for a week. So I'll take you with me tomorrow and I'll show you some footage of some things that we've been doing and the amount of work we've still got to do. But it's incredibly exciting. So suffice to say, what the hell has budgeting got to do with any of this? Well, bear with, because it does have a huge, huge part to play. So managing my money, as I have over all these years, has meant that I've never got myself into debt. I mean, all right, several £100, £1,000 here, maybe £1,000 there. But invariably, it's always been very, very manageable. Now, manageable debt, unmanageable debt, two very, very different things. Yes, I've wanted loads of things. I love gorgeous things. I had a business called Gorgeous Things, actually. Another time, another story. But I have always loved lovely things for the home. I like nice clothes. But, you know, you have to cut your cloth, as my nan would have said. You have to live within your means. And I have. And it's been tough at times because I'm a retailer. So for some years, I've earned really good money in leadership positions. For example, with Apple, I earned really great money. But there was a lot of years where I was on normal money. You know, there was nothing to write home about. So I just had to make it work because I always had something, a vision bigger than just another top from, you know, Zara or whatever. It wasn't, there were always things in my mind. I didn't quite have it with what I wanted, but I knew there were bigger things, and I knew that keep on buying all this stuff, it's just stuff. I'd rather have a feeling of wealth, I suppose, which is completely different from feeling rich. You know, I'll never be rich, I doubt, unless I win the lottery. But I always feel and have been, I suppose, at a level of wealth, in as much that I'm never really truly skint. I mean, I have been many, many times, but I'm not skint now. And of course it helps because there's two of us in one place with a relatively small mortgage. Of course it does. But mindfully managing your money has a massive, massive impact. And it has enabled us to buy that house in France anyway. So we're mortgage free over there. And also from my perspective, having bought and sold a couple of houses, I've been I never bought them to make money. I bought them to be homes. But I'm now in the fortunate position whereby I have just sold this house. Well, it's going through right now. We're not quite at the exchange date. It's coming. But it means that there's really good equity now that we can actually take that lump sum and run with it. So this is a much bigger story than what I'm telling you right now. This is just a mere snippet. But I'm feeling a little bit nostalgic, is that the right word? I can see my cat mucking about in the background somewhere there, out there. I think she's chasing something in the garden. I was having a real moment because I'm actually meeting my mum. We're going out for a lovely dress shopping day in Tenterden, which is a really cute little town, southwest in Kent. And we're having a real sort of mummy daughter and another friend day today, girly day. And I was just having a real nostalgic moment, and I just thought, you know what, I need to actually share a bit more of myself with you and my journey, because it just makes sense to. Talking about money and budgeting can be very dry, you know, it can be very, very just practical stuff, or, you know, I just need to put a little bit more injection of my own me into it. So I hope you quite like that, and I rather hope you'll carry on watching while I take you on my little journey into France, because budgeting and planning is still carrying on, and it's going to take another very interesting turn, because I'm going to be negotiating. I'm going to be, yeah, I think so. I'm going to be living a new life in France. So everything's going to be very, very different. So I'm going to kind of take you on that kind of journey with me, as well as continue to teach you as much as I know about and continue to learn about when it comes to money management, because I feel very, 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 very strongly that you can create the life that you want. I know shit hits the fan. It does for all of us, me included, absolutely. But when you've got something, you don't even know what it is, that's kind of driving you a little bit behind the scenes, just hold on to that and really treasure it. You may not know what you want to do. You may be starting out, you might be in your 30s, in your late 20s, you might be in your 50s and 60s, and still not know what you want to do in life, but you know that there's something, you're missing the mark on something. Just hold on to that thought and nurture it a bit and think about it a little bit, because there's a lot of life to be lived. And it doesn't all boil down to having a ton of money. You can do things, and I don't mean frugally, although yes, frugality comes into it, but you can do things, and it hasn't got to be $1 million at a time. Anyway, thank you for listening. and I look forward to the rest this week and hitting some really, really good weather in France, because I think it's in its mid-30s, so I think it might be a bit of a sweaty Lucy. You'll see if I do any videos with you, but hopefully it'll clear up this horrible rotten summer cold I've had. So anyway, thank you for listening, and do follow for more and give this little thumbs up if you like this video. Take care.